Alright, what's going on YouTube? We got another Back for Blood deck build video, and today we got a mix of a shotgun and a healer. I've had some people down in the comments talk about some certain hybrid builds. They want a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And someone down on the shotgun video was asking about a shotgun healer. Now this is probably one of the best hybrids you can have, but I still say this is more suited for veteran. Don't know about Nightmare. The more I play Nightmare, the more I feel as though it may be good at certain portions of the act, but it seems like a lot of times when it comes to Nightmare, you're going to need speed builds for certain runs between checkpoints. And until you get those checkpoints, some of these builds might not work out so great at the very beginning until you're able to pick more than a few cards rather than just one or two. So a lot of times it feels like a lot of RNG, the damage is so much higher, the beefier when it comes to the special infected. So this might not fare too well in Nightmare, but in Veteran for sure, you should be able to run this and do perfectly fine. DPS is solid. Heals aren't up to the highest of par, so don't consider yourself like a main healer. This would be like a supportive DPS and heals. DPS absolutely can go through the roof, will clear out and take down special infected, but when it comes to healing, you aren't the greatest of healers. This would be something to help make up for certain moments or give heals between things. You'll see as the cards come through, and if you just want to copy and paste this, I'll have a list down in the description of each of the cards in order by name. We'll start off with quick kill, 50% accuracy. Obviously we're hitting from the hip. Mag coupler, you want that 50% reload speed. Obviously shotguns can be slow when it comes to reload speed, but we're going to mitigate that right off the bat. Hyper focused, we want that weak spot damage. Is really going to help with the damage. And then our first healing card is going to be the support scavenger. So say you have a healer in your group that's the main healer. Tell them that you're running this and that they don't need to run this. Put in another healing card. It'll help them get more healing efficiency or something better, maybe even something that's damage mitigation for themselves instead of having to take this slot up in their deck. Now, Rolling Thunder, we're going to want that move speed while firing with the shotgun and amplified just to increase our DPS. Combat Medic, 50% use speed. This is going to be used in comparison with Field Surgeon, which gives us negative use speed. So, but we want that healing efficiency. I tried this with the EMT bag. I wasn't too pleased with the healing effect that came from it. It almost felt like it just wasn't a good 50-50 balance. Like you just didn't have quite the heals that I'd like out of this, so the 60% had to come in. And the good thing about the combat medic, say you're out there, one of your buddies goes down, or maybe all three of them go down. The big thing about this, well, we'll talk about the cleaner after, but this is going to help a lot because you're going to be one of the people that could revive some people really quickly if you're playing as the character mom. You don't necessarily want to use this with Doc, but I'll talk more about the cleaners at the end of this. Now, Chemical Courage. This is also going to add to your DPS and could add to other people's DPS, as it says, pain meds you apply also grant 25% damage for a full 60 seconds. That's a long time. That's a good amount of time for, say, things are getting hectic. You had to pop them anyways. You're going to have that amplified damage to really clear things out with this put on you, or if you put it on someone else, they'll have that boost of damage as well to help clear out. Now, Buckshot Bruiser, again, I've had people down in the comments tell me that this was broken. This was something that was problematic and that the devs are working on it. Still does give a good amount of temporary health. This is something that gives back a little bit. Common infected aren't exactly going to give you that much unless you clear a whole pack of them, but special infected, ogres, things like that are going to give you more of those chunky or beefier temporary health. Now, silver bullets, we want that 10% damage, and we want the bullet pin just in case we got to clear some crowds out. The horde, you want to be able to move through that pretty quickly and have your damage go through if they're in, say, like a choke point or something. This is going to work out pretty well for you. Canned goods, I wanted to add some more health to this build since you are partially a healer. So in some ways you're not the main DPS, but your DPS is really good with this build, but I wanted it to be a little bit more survivable in case you're reviving somebody or applying heals in case there's some, you know, just a horde or something else. You're just trying to quickly apply a heal to somebody and get them into the green before somebody goes down. Essentially, it's just to add that benefit of possibly you're healing or reviving somebody so you can take a few more hits just in case. glass cannon, we want that 25% damage. So this is going to be way later down the list, considering we're not focusing primarily on the DPS. That's why it's so low down here. You could move it up if you wanted to. You could rearrange the cards by all means, but this worked out pretty well for me. Ran it for a few hours today, and it did solid. Killer Instinct, just 30% more of that weak spot damage. Don't even worry about the aim down sights. There's not a whole lot of damage mitigation with this, considering you are partially a healer, and you've got the support scavenger, so you should be finding band-aids, pain pills, medical kits, so you should be able to heal yourself. But we have that face your fears at the end when it's getting into those nitty-gritty parts, when it's the final run of the act. That's when you're going to really need these, considering the rest of the time you should be able to pop some pain pills, keep that temporary health going. Now you could move NUMB up. I kept coming to a kind of crossroads with this. You could put it in the middle of the deck if you wanted to, and it wouldn't hurt you that much worse. But I just felt, since we're doing partially healing, or 50-50 when it comes to healing on this, you should be able to heal yourself, and the damage resistance shouldn't be really that highly necessary until the very end of an act, when you finally got that whole deck filled in. And a lot of times, if you're running through Act 1, you're running through Act 2, you should be able to finish this deck out fairly quickly with this deck. And if you've got the right DPS and healer, you could just run and keep going until it got to the point where you keep getting those 4 random common cards, just pumping up health or ammo, stamina, or copper, something like that. Now, I will say, when it comes to the cleaner, this one's going to be a mom character. You're going to want her because automatically we don't have much when it comes to support inventory, but she gives an automatic +1 to support, so you'll have 2 healing objects at any given time. You could do pain meds, you could do bandages, depending on what you're doing for your group. Communicate with them, see what they want, and fill appropriately. Pain meds would probably be one of your best bets, considering it's going to give that 25% damage, just adding a little bit more to your DPS while still having that healing factor. And since you're running a support scavenger, you'll find things, and when you do heal your team as needed, heal yourself as well. And the best thing about this, team extra lives. Everybody likes to go down, or nobody really likes to go down, but they prefer to go down than to flat out die altogether. So having that extra life can be really beneficial in certain runs. And at the same time, each mission you go into, Mom can instantly revive a teammate once per level. This is really good in case there's maybe a crucial clutch moment that all 3 of your teammates go down. You need to get up 1 pretty quickly. I'd probably go for the DPS, if anything, just to make sure that you're able to clear with them. And trust me, with the shotgun build you have here, with all the damage you do, 1 other person with you, I mean, arguably you could pretty much cover everybody at the same point with this DPS that you've got going. This is one of the few hybrid builds, I'd say, once it really gets stacked out, is going to be able to hold its own as a DPS and just have that health as something that's just an added benefit to the deck. But it just doesn't have the same damage mitigation compared to the shotgun build, is the real difference. And the one weapon you're really going to want to use, I tried this on 2 different missions. One, I was using the Express, was not too pleased with it. It is slow. It just, the damage is good, but it's slow. The reload's slower. The AA-12 is really going to be the one weapon you want to use. You could go for the Super 90. I feel it has a little bit of a slower reload, but if that's your weapon of choice, by all means choose that. But the AA-12, just with the sheer fact of how fast it fires and how quick the reload is, it just really helps out a ton. And again, what you're going to be using is long range with the high zoom scope for that added DPS when it comes to weak spots. And don't go for maximum size or reload speed. You're going to want to go for whatever has the bullet stumble. And if you find one with 75% bullet stumble, that's the one you really want to go for, just to push back enemies, break them from holds, stop them from slamming down on somebody as well. And you'll be able to do that from a little bit of a distance, not exactly a full long range distance, but most of the time you should be able to stumble them back with a couple of bullets, and AA-12's really going to do it. That's really going to knock them back. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you're, if you have any deck ideas that you'd like to be thrown around, possibly something you're looking for, just let me know down in the comments. Any cards you may not have, obviously, let me know down in the comments. Or hit the link in the description. Ask me over at Twitch whenever I'm live. I'm more than happy to answer any of the questions for you. We've got some gameplay footage as well. I was using the AA-12. It really shows how strong the DPS is with this build. And the fact that you can couple that with healing is really nice. But again, I think this is one of those veteran-only modes. I don't know how well this might do in Nightmare. Maybe if you had a head start, a checkpoint further down the road where you can select more than a few cards, it'd be pretty good. But as for right now, I consider this only a veteran viable. Yeah. But anyways, guys, I'll get straight into the gameplay footage, and hope you guys have a good one.
We are engaging the creature. My God, the area is riddled with tunnels.
Reloading!
What am I getting hit with? Yeah.
Kids, don't do that. Watch me. Need to reload. Going to need more bullets soon. Save that for me.
I feel like I'm dying extremely fast. What kind of connection do I have?
Let's get it. I need assistance. It's all right. I got you. Need help here. Thanks. Need a little help to get back up? Running low. I need that.
No turning back now. Let's end this.
Meds
Got to
here.
patch this up.
Thanks, Doc. Anyone want this? Bandages here. What have we here?
This might hurt.
Thank you.
Wait, what? Where'd he go?
I never thought I'd be doing this when I was at medical school.
Need to reload. Oh, shit. Sorry. Here. If we keep shooting, he's going to fall apart to sea.
Don't worry about me.
Let's get it.
feel like the healing's quite up to my par that I'd like.
I'll be fixed up soon.
Much appreciated.
Damn, Holly.
That's Colin! Weakening! Only cure there is. There! Shoot it!
Get back! Unless you want to be lunch!
It's wounded! This is our opportunity to finish it!
Fucking almost got eaten again.
Wrap it up.
We've got Phillips out. Coming back to meet you.
Gun strike.
Come on! Angelo, down! It's all over me! Perfect!
Are you kidding me?
There! Shoot it! They killed Evangelo. What's a doctor with no patience? That's what happens to all bullies.
Yeah. Bottle